Long before time was measured in seasons and harvests, the village of Bomba stood as a beacon of prosperity. Nestled between two great rivers and shadowed by towering baobabs, it was a land blessed with fertile soil, abundant wildlife, and skies that wept rain when needed. But as with all things in the world, balance was fickle and fortune could be fleeting. One year the skies grew quiet. The rivers shrank into thin ribbons of water, revealing cracked earth where fish once swam. Crops withered, and the land, once thick with the hum of birds and insects, became eerily silent. Then came the beasts. Neighboring tribes, desperate in their own struggles, became raiders, bringing fire and steel to the defenseless village. With drought came hunger, and with hunger, violence. Bomba village stood on the brink of ruin. It was in this moment of despair that the elders called upon the spirits of the sacred forest, pleading for salvation. From the depths of the ancient trees, their prayers were answered, not by gods, but by Nzara, the colossal serpent with glistening scales, blacker than the midnight sky. Nzara was no ordinary creature. It was as if the very essence of the forest had taken shape into flesh and sinew. With eyes burning like molten gold, it slithered through the land, coiling around the village like a sentinel. And as soon as Nzara claimed dominion over Bomba village, the heavens opened. Rain fell in torrents. Rivers swelled with life. The invaders, struck by the sight of the great beast, fled in terror, never to return. The village was saved. But there was a cost. Nzara demanded a tribute, an annual sacrifice. One virgin, untouched by the world, was to be offered at the heart of the sacred forest. No one knew where the chosen went. They simply vanished, swallowed by the darkness of the trees. And so, the cycle began. Generations passed. Fathers sent their daughters away with heavy hearts, knowing that their sacrifice ensured the safety and prosperity of all. Mothers whispered prayers as they braided their daughters' hair for the final time, and siblings stood at the edge of the forest, watching until their beloved was no more than a memory in the wind. No one questioned. No one defied. Until the day Tafadzwa, a humble hunter, was called upon to surrender his only child Nyarai, the girl whose laughter once echoed through the village like the song of birds. Tafadzwa was no fool. He had watched for years, had heard the hushed cries of families torn apart, and had seen his people live under the ever-present shadow of fear. He had long buried his resentment beneath layers of duty. But when the time came for his own daughter's offering, his heart burned with rebellion. And so, when the elders approached, he refused. "I will not give my daughter to something unseen," he declared, his voice ringing like the clash of spears. "If none return, then we must uncover the truth of what we have accepted for generations." His words sent whispers through the village, but tradition was not easily undone. The elders warned him. They spoke of droughts, of raiders, of the price to be paid. But Tafadzwa did not listen. With a heart full of resolve, he ventured into the sacred forest under the veil of night. Shadows stretched like specters beneath the towering trees, and the air carried the weight of forgotten voices. He followed the well-worn path of past sacrifices, moving deeper into the labyrinth of foliage until he reached a cavern concealed by thickets. The entrance shimmered with eerie light. illuminating the walls within. Bones. The remains of maidens past lay scattered across the ground, their fragile skeletons twisted in eternal silence. Nzara had not taken them to some ethereal realm. It had feasted upon them. The serpent, massive beyond imagination, coiled in the heart of the cavern. Its scales glistened with the remnants of its past meals, and its eyes, deep as burning suns, locked onto the intruder. Tafadzwa felt fear, true, unyielding terror. But terror was fleeting. Rage, however, was everlasting. With the spear he had crafted, dipped in the venom of the forest's deadliest creatures, he struck. The battle was violent. Nzara lashed its enormous tail, shattering stone and uprooting ancient trees. The hunter dodged, struck again, and again, until his weapon sank deep into the beast's flesh. Nzara let out a scream that echoed across the land, a cry that rattled the bones of the ancestors themselves. Then, silence. The guardian of Bomba village was no more. At dawn, the village erupted in celebration. No more would daughters vanish into the unknown. No more would families be torn apart by tradition's cruel hand. But soon, the consequences became clear. The rains stopped. The rivers receded. Crops failed. And hunger gnawed at the villagers with a newfound cruelty. Then came the raiders, descending upon Bomba village with the fury of wolves. The village, once shielded by the serpent, now lay bare before the elements and tea.